Good afternoon, everyone. This is the News at 5. Today we are having a groovy recap of this far-out decade. To begin, let's recall the shooting of the students at Kent State University on May 4th, 1970 by the National Guard. The Kent State students still claim that their actions were due to the war protest, but the National Guard claims that intervention was needed. The National Guardsmen encountered a horrifying scene when the ROTC building was ablaze. The rally was banned, which was met by angry shouting and the throwing of rocks. Shots were fired by guardsmen. 9 were injured. Best wishes to all involved. And now to sports.
One of the greatest athletes of this groovy decade. While in high school, Bruce Jenner 3 times won the Eastern States Water Ski Championship and placed well in the Connecticut State High School track and field meet, but he gave no indication that he would one day become the world's greatest athlete. Jenner went to tiny Graceland College in Lamoni, Iowa on a football scholarship, but shortly took up the decathlon and only 1 year later qualified for the 1972 Olympic team. After placing 10th in the 1972 Olympic decathlon, Jenner won the 1974 AAU title, and in 1975 he was Pan Am champion and set a world record in the triangular meet with the USSR and Poland. In 1976, Jenner won a second AAU title and crowned a brilliant career by taking the Olympic gold medal with a new world record of 8,618 points. The charismatic Jenner became a television and movie personality as soon as his competitive days were over. He has won 1 gold medal. Some of his personal bests include the 100-meter dash of 10.7 seconds, the 400-meter dash of 47.5 seconds, and the 1500 dash of 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Now here's live footage of Bruce Jenner running the 400-meter dash in the 1976 decathlon.
Heat, just bone weary after 8 hours of competition, and we've got a fair start. Now as they come off the turn, let's see what's happening with Jenner and Dixon. Butler is outside in lane number 8, and he's moving it very well. Aviloff is up in lane number 7, but here is Jenner up in lane number 5, and Jenner is really turning it. Going into the turn as he comes off, Jenner is really turning it on. Dixon now beginning to make his move, but as they work through the turn, Jenner is winning the turn hard all the way. Crossing outside, beginning to tie just a little bit. Aviloff, you see coming into the picture. It is Jenner holding the lead, coming off the turn. Bruce Jenner has the lead. Butler struggling on the outside. Aviloff now trying to come back. It is Peel of Sweden. And as they come to the finish line, it is Bruce Jenner way out in front. Oh, Jenner wins it big, 47-5-2, that's unofficial. Peel of Sweden is second. Aviloff comes on to get a third. Butler finished fourth.
Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher Doc Ellis says he was under the influence of LSD when he pitched a 1970 no-hitter against the San Diego Padres. Ellis, now coordinator of an anti-drug program in Los Angeles, said he didn't know until 6 hours before his June 12, 1970 no-hitter that he was going to pitch. Doc says, I was in Los Angeles and the team was playing in San Diego, but I didn't know it. I had taken LSD. I thought it was an off day. That's how come I had it in me. I took the LSD at noon. At 1 p.m., his girlfriend and trip partner looked at the paper and said, Doc, you're pitching today. That Sunday was $9.50 to fly to San Diego. She got me to the airport at 3:30. I had got there at 4:30 and the game started at 6:05 p.m. It was a twilight doubleheader. Doc says he can only remember bits and pieces of the game. He said he was psyched that he had a feeling of euphoria. The Pirates won the game 2-0, although Ellis walked 8 batters. It was the high point in the baseball career of one of the finer pitchers of his time and arguably one of the greatest achievements in the history of sports.
Suddenly, Barbie's moving, like you moved. Suddenly, she's a new, living Barbie, moving more naturally, looking more lifelike than any other fashion doll. Suddenly, she's posing. She's posing as though she's walking, running, bending, jumping, waving, holding, carrying, tumbling. Suddenly, she's a new, living Barbie.
Wow, she's real like me!
In other news from the 70s, on August 8, 1974, Nixon resigned due to the Watergate scandal. If you do not remember the Watergate scandal, it was a break-in at the Democratic National Headquarters. It was discovered that the participants were involved with members of Nixon's administration. When news of the break-in surfaced, Nixon's administration tried to cover up the incident. That's what led to the hearings and impeachment of President Nixon. Nixon ended up resigning the presidency. And now for a short commercial break.
It happened on April 15th, 1976. Before filming, Jackie put on her her blush, her cream on eyeshadow, and her super lash maker comb on mascara and went to work. She came out of the water 15 times without a touch-up, and take after take, her look stayed soft and natural and beautiful. Our waterproof face. Performance tested, and only by Max Factor.
Welcome to Kenzie's Corner. Donna Summer is currently one of the hottest performers in the entertainment biz. She's been all over the world recording her music and is in the new movie, Thank God It's Friday. So would you all welcome Miss Donna Summer.
Can I just say that I always wanted to be on your show?
So when you started that you would get this kind of fame?
I always knew that I would be successful. It was never a question of whether or not I would be successful. It was just a matter of time.
Who did you look up to as a singer when you were young?
I mean, that was a person that I really sort of molded myself behind as a child.
You have lived in Germany before for some time.
My father was there when I was very young.
Right.
And he would always run around the house when he came back from the service and speak German with my mother. And so when I was older and I had the opportunity to go, I only wanted to go so that I could learn to speak the language so I could understand what my father was saying to my mother.
Recorded an album in a foreign language?
Well, yes, I played in the German cast of Hair, so that we did the, after 2 months, I think we did the German version of Hair, and it's very funny.
Down the road, more pictures, recording, concerts, or a little bit of everything?
Some appearances and probably some film work, I hope.
Yeah.
And developing. You know, I'm studying to become a director myself, so I have my own little video studio set up at home.
That's it for tonight, so everyone please give it up for Donna Summer.
In this decade, the comedy show SNL began. The favorite dance of the decade was the disco, with movies like Saturday Night Fever with John Travolta. Wow, a real-life teenager doing the disco. Movies like Jaws, The Exorcist, and Sesame Street were TV entertainment of the decade. The favorite music of the decade was rock and disco, with artists like Aerosmith, The Eagles, Elton John, Bob Marley, and the young Michael Jackson.
Now here's a quick SNL skit.
A frog party, a weird party,
And these were the most far-out decade of all time.
I hope you enjoyed this funky flashback.
Have a groovy day from News at 5.